All Up in the Business show. I am Joelle Hines, and I'm here with my co-host.
Her dad, Kimon, and we're excited to be on today. Do us a favor, if you're watching this, type in the comments, let us know where you're watching this from, and also let us know if you can hear us. We trying out some new stuff, trying out our new microphone, so we want to make sure that you can hear us okay.
Yes.
Joelle, what's good? What's going on with you today?
I got a half day at school today, which was fun.
Really? You got a half day?
Yes.
No, seriously, I actually didn't realize y'all had a half day.
You knew that.
I knew before, but I guess I didn't realize that y'all had ended school early because y'all just kind of stayed upstairs doing the regular stuff, so I couldn't tell.
Yeah, we had a half day, which was fun, I guess. It wasn't that. I still had to do homework after.
Yeah.
And how was your day? What's good with you, sir?
I was busy. It's been a pretty busy day. I went from call to call to call. So it was kind of a little busy. Gotta let somebody know I'm on a live. Real quick, what are you looking forward to today? What else is going on with you today that you're really excited about? What you looking forward to?
I'm really excited to eat. I'm really excited to eat the haystacks. I'm about to make haystacks after this. And I really like haystacks, so I'm very excited to eat that. I'm also looking forward to Masked Singer. It's like this show that comes on like every Wednesday. And basically, different celebrities come under a mask and perform singing and stuff like that. They may be good, they may not, but yeah.
Yeah, okay.
A little rundown of that show.
All right. By the way, if you're watching this, do us two favors. One, type in the comments. Let us know where you're watching this from so we can shout you out. And two, share it because we think that what we're going to talk about, we know what we're going to talk about today can help someone. Yeah. All right. For those who've never watched our show, maybe someone shared this and you're watching a replay, you're watching it live. Joelle is a teen entrepreneur. She is 14 years old and has how many businesses?
I have 2 businesses.
All right. And so am I. I'm also an entrepreneur, not teen. But I have a business called Ideas to Life, and I help other people start businesses. And one of the questions people ask, and we're going to deal with that today, is help. I want to start a business,
but I ain't got no money.
Right. And that, have a little amount of money. Yeah, like I don't have a lot of money because really, let's just say this. One of the misconceptions we have is that in order to start a business,
you need a lot of money.
Yeah, that's actually what stops a lot of people from going into business is thinking they need a lot of money, or 2, also feeling like I need to like spend a lot of money, go save up, find money, whatever. And so they just kind of pull back from this.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that we want to just talk about today is how do you get started as an adult, but also as a teenager if you don't have a lot of money. And I'm anticipating if you're a teen, you probably don't have a lot of money, right?
Well, let's not judge now.
We don't want to judge.
Because some people get allowances.
You think allowance is enough like to have like the money that people think they need to start a business?
No, it also depends on your saving habits. But most likely, most teens don't have enough money that everybody thinks.
Yeah, that's right. But and then people think we got to get a loan and all that kind of stuff.
But I'm a story that proves that you don't need a lot of money to start a business.
All right. So let's just start with this. When you first started, and by the way, if you're watching, just go ahead, hit us in the comments. So let us know you're watching. We want to know where you're watching this from, who you are, that kind of stuff. And even if you're watching replay, hit replay. Let us know where you're watching this from. Joelle, when you started first business, tell us how old you were when you started, like what year, and how much money you had when you got started.
Yes. So I started Slay All Day Nails in July of 2019.
Mm-hmm.
I was 12 years old, and I started that business with I think it was like $67. $67 to start the business, like start it. Period. I didn't have all the money like just saved up from like birthday or anything like that. I had some money from that, but I also worked for my money around the house. I asked my mom and dad, is there anything you need me to do? Do you want me to clean out your closet? Do you want me to clean the fridge, the garage? So I worked for this money.
Yeah, but now, so let's even talk before you started working for stuff. You know you wanted to start a business, right? So how did you go about getting started? We'll include that story about the working for the money into it, because I think that's a really good story for any teen that's out there watching this. So first of all, what's the first? So the myth is you need a lot of money. So if you don't have a lot of money, you can't start, or you need to go borrow money or go into like a huge amount of debt, or whatever. But let's start with, what's the first principle of how you can start with little to no money?
Remind me of that, please.
So where can you, first of all, is you want to start small. That's like the first principle.
Yeah.
Like a lot of times I think we think, like let's try to compete with someone who's been in business for 10 years, for 20 years, or even longer. Like my question is always going to be, how can you start really small?
Okay.
Kind of talk to us about that a little bit.
So I would suggest looking at what you can get for free, what you can trade, and what you can borrow. These are all the things that you get for free. And they kind of break down into those two categories. Free might be something that you have around the house. Maybe somebody's able to gift it to you. Borrow, I borrowed my dad's camera to take pictures for my business. You can also see what you can trade. Maybe somebody has something that you want and you have something that they want, and you can flip-flop them and switch. And then you can have what you want for a free price. Maybe just a sacrifice or something.
Good. And I want us to even talk about those just a little bit. But here is something, right? When I say start small, a lot of times people think I'm going to start a t-shirt business, or I'm going to pick on t-shirt business people, right? And they think, okay, let me go print a lot of different designs, or let me go get a lot of inventory, whatever. And sometimes it's good to start with maybe just one product, right? Instead of putting a whole line together for your beauty product, whatever, start with one thing. If you want to do a lot of services, let's say you want to do a home cleaning service and you need a bunch of equipment. Say, well, what equipment do I need to just clean this one particular room? Like I become the specialist in this one room, and start small. Like, so always ask yourself, I know I want to go big, but what's the smallest product I can put out or service that I can do that will get me going, where I don't have to go buy as much stuff as I need, that I think I need to buy at some point, right? Mm-hmm. And then to go to Joelle's point, she says, once you figure out how you can start small, say, what can I get for free, mm-hmm. right? So free is, first category is things that you already have.
Yeah.
So with you, what were some things you already had when you got started?
I already had nail polish.
Yeah.
I already had nail polish.
Yeah, so you started with the polish, the colors that you had.
Yes.
All right, so you start with what you already have. Look around, like be determined. What do I already have that I can use, right? You might want a certain level of something. Well, I'll start with the camera I have. I don't need the upgrade. I'll start with what I have.
Yeah, you can start with your phone.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Yeah.
Second, you said, what can I borrow? Yeah. Borrow, that's an interesting word, right? Like, what does someone else have that they'll be willing to let me use, and then I give it back to them in as good a condition as when I got it. So you say, okay, yeah. So who has something that I need, who'll be willing to just lend it to me, right? Like lend it straight off. And then there's some things you need that may be a service. It might be some equipment, but you can trade, as Joelle said, or what's another word people use? Barter, right? So let's say it's a service. So let's say I need the service of graphic design. Joelle, you do graphic design in our example. All right. Okay. And I don't have the money to do the graphic design. And there is something I do. Maybe I do what? Give me something.
You shine shoes.
Yeah, shine.
He shines shoes.
All right. For this example only.
Yeah.
She does graphic design. Can I get something else? Like, no, do I do accounting? I do accounting.
He shines shoes. And right. I wanted my shoes shine.
Right.
And he wanted a graphic made.
So I almost go to her and say, listen, would you mind doing this graphic for me? And I will
shine your shoes.
Right. So you trade off a service, or even you trade off the use of something. I have this. Would you want to use this? And can I trade it to be able to use this for? Maybe someone has space that they have, and you say, I'll use your space. And in addition, in exchange for using the space you have, I will do XYZ for you. Yeah. Right. So thank you so much, Miss Jennifer. All right. So you have get for free, borrow, trade. Mm-hmm. And then with yours, right? Just to kind of go back to something you said as a teen, one of the things you started saying, what are odd jobs around the house that need doing?
Yeah.
And you came around and started asking us to do some of these jobs to get the money now to make up the difference between what you could already get for free and what you needed to actually pay for it. Talk about just going around getting that money.
Well, I was just like, what do you need me to do? I mean,
you started making like how much would you give me to clean the garage, or how much would you give me for this
and
stuff?
Then you negotiate. $10 to clean a whole garage? I don't know about that one. So, I went around the house. Yeah. And I negotiated.
Yeah, and I think, the principle for kids is if you need some money, go do some odd jobs, because, parents are probably much more, or people in the neighborhood much more rather to pay you to do something rather than just giving you money. So that's what we're saying. Or maybe for an adult, maybe you just pick up a little second something to get that extra money that you might need. When you look at the difference, when you want to start small, you got the stuff for free, and now you say, okay, let me work a little bit just to get this extra money. All right, last thing, and this is one that I'm pretty excited about. What's the last step? I don't have a lot of money, want to get started on my business. What's another step you can take?
Pre-order.
Yeah, pre-orders. All right, somebody put in the comments, pre-orders. If you're watching this, type pre-orders. Like, what is this principle of pre-orders? Help us break it down.
Pre-orders is basically putting up a product or service on the market for sale to people before you have the inventory to fulfill the order.
Mm-hmm.
So that doesn't mean you don't have the product made at all. If it's like a book, for example, my sister came out with a coloring book. If it's a book, you can have all the pages. You have all the pages done and like the whole book design, but you may not have the physical book in your house. And that's basically what a pre-order is. You're just taking orders, and then like maybe after a certain amount of time, you'll get the inventory that you need, and then you'll fulfill the orders. But the whole purpose of that is to use the money from those orders to get the inventory.
Yeah. I mean, and I think it's just a different way of thinking, right? Sometimes we think we need to spend money in advance and then make it back when people buy from us.
Mm-hmm.
And you're saying, no, get the money from the people first and then use that to buy the things that you need for your business.
Yeah.
Right? Now, let's just talk about it for two quick examples to see how it might work. All right. So you mentioned a book. How could that work with someone who has a service-based business, even like selling food? How can that work for them?
Okay, so I'm going to go with the example of hot wings. I don't know. I just want to go with that. So basically, let's say, what?
You love some hot wings.
I really do.
Yeah.
So let's say that you have a hot wing business,
Mm-hmm.
a chicken wing business, and you put out there on a graphic your specials on a graphic and how much they are,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can have a way of taking payment and say, order by this and you'll receive by this. So maybe they order on the first Sunday of the month and you give it to them on the second Sunday. So you can take the money that they paid you, go buy the chicken that you need, make it, and then have it ready on Sunday.
That's right.
Next Sunday.
That's right. So you're basically like getting people's like interest, getting that demand up, mm-hmm. taking the money, go buy. I was talking to someone like even about a lemonade stand, right? Like we traditionally think buy stuff, make lemonade, go out, put it out there, hope people show up and sell. But what if you almost do a pre-order lemonade stand, right? Like you reach out to people, say, hey, listen, I'm selling the best lemonade, whatever. Would you be interested? Would you sign up to get it? And we'll even deliver it, right? You can even do something where you deliver it, or here's what I'll be. But you can give people a discount for pre-ordering off of the regular price that it would be.
Yeah, and it also gives people away, like if you're going to do some type of service thing where they have to meet you somewhere or something like that, like it also gives them basically like a heads up so they can like have it on their schedule or something if you have a certain day or time,
mm-hmm.
rather than you just posting it maybe like a day early and they're like, oh, I already have plans.
Yeah.
So that also can help in a way.
Yeah. One of the things I just want to also highlight is people do that all the time, right? Like you pre-order this phone.
Pre-order concerts.
Yeah, that's true. They sell these tickets in advance, and then I've been to a concert, right, where they sold these tickets and selling it. And then they went from, okay, we don't have the demand, so we're going to go from the big hall to the small hall, right? Like that's what they do. So just understand, we're not telling you be dishonest, whatever. We're saying be smart.
Yeah,
so
but always make sure you fulfill the order.
That's a good point.
Also, like, I don't think you should make them wait too long.
That's
And
true.
also, you can let them know how long it will take, because pre-order, sometimes people may get confused. People may get confused that it's like an order that will come quickly. So you want to tell people your processing time
Mm-hmm.
for your pre-order, so it's not a shock and they don't have like a negative reaction for the delay.
Yeah. And I think you can pretty much pre-sell
Almost anything.
anything, almost anything, right? Almost anything. And
What
I
else
think,
can't you?
huh?
What else can't you pre-sell?
I don't know what you can't, but you always got to use like the term almost anything, right? Because someone might type in the comments, right? Something, and we go, oh, I don't know how you can pre-sell that. Now, anyone here, any questions that you have about the whole thing about help? I want to start a business, but I don't have a lot of money. Any questions? Any comments? Thoughts? What you got? Just as they're typing those questions, made me think about when we did the camp, and we sort of pre-sold, right? And that gave us the idea to realize, to see what the interest was. And I think that's also a benefit when you pre-sell. You see, okay, people interested in this or not, because you don't want to put all this work out there, sit recording stuff, writing stuff, whatever. Like that's for like an educational product. Or you don't want to be all there buying all this stuff and then you have it sitting at your house. That can be really deflating, and you spent money. But what we're saying is you can actually make money before you get started.
Yeah.
So that to me, that's the goal right there.
Definitely.
All right. Any questions or comments before we jump off? It happens every time we jump off. Here we go. What are some ideas on marketing a book?
I would say really stress like the importance of how the book is going to help the person, or like the benefit of it, or basically like people mostly read books to like change their life in a way. You know what I mean? So like stress how it will help them, or and like
the benefits.
Also your story of how you wrote the book. Get people like I guess behind the scenes of why you created it, what was your motivation for doing it, stuff like that.
Yeah, I think also to go with what Joelle is saying, I think people like being able to, for one, get some pre-readers, right? So you have some people who've read the book, who you sent it to, and they can give you like testimonials, but also create something where you create a buzz for the book before it comes out. You can let people see a cover and say, hey, this book is coming out. I'm creating an insider group for those who want to be interested, who want to be a part of the book launch. They come in, you might give them a chapter, right? You give them a chapter to the book. You say, hey, listen, if you're in here, I'll let you know the process. Hey, it just went to the publisher. Hey, this is going on. And you can almost say to them, I'll let you buy it like much cheaper than anyone else on the market. So you get those people to build a buzz, but you also ask them, hey, since you're part of my insider group, would you share this with your audience? So you're also using them to get the word out there to more people who you may not have met or may not been able to reach before. Good question. Yeah. All right. Let's take this one. How do you stay encouraged? And I think this might come from someone who's also a teenpreneur. I know that's Brianna's dad.
I would say really focusing on why you started this business, like, and also focus on the joys of your business. Sometimes, when things don't go good, it's really easy to forget your successes or your highs in your business. So I would really say, think about those. Think about how those made you feel, like how that high made you feel, and then try to chase after another one of those or something like that.
Yeah. And to your point, I think sometimes it's good for us to like write down the good successes, right? Because it's easy for us to forget when good things happen.
Yeah.
So like being aware and recording, this is some of the things, and then record what you're also learning in the process, especially as a teen, if you're in business, make sure you are saying, hey, what have I learned in the process? Don't just look at money, but look at learning, look at this skill development and all the things that you're growing in.
I would also say something else that is good is to, like, even if things aren't going well, try to stay active in doing stuff. I think a lot of times when stuff is not going good, you're like, oh, well, I might just take a little break or something like that. But I think actively keep on working, to get a success. And I would say that always helps you. Because it kind of, I don't know.
Yeah, that keep the momentum. Yeah. So it's like when you sit back, it's kind of like, well, you just feel that weight. but like, okay, what can I try? I remember one statement you made, like there are 26 letters in the alphabet. If I try A and B, they're all 24 more letters in the alphabet. So that's a good way to look at it. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, listen, this was good. Joe, we got to do this again next week. All right. Let's try to make sure we stay on with our recordings.
Yes.
So thank you for watching. Again, if you're watching this, share it. If this has been helpful to you, share it. And we look forward to being back on with you next week for another episode of All Up in the Business. So from Kimon and
Joelle,
you all have a good night.
Bye-bye.